Which top do you think looks better on me? Perhaps this one? The pearl and the really pretty emerald earrings, or maybe this one? Maybe that's more my style. Or maybe I shouldn't wear a top at all and I should go for this dress. But if I were to put any of these items on me, what I'd be saying is that theft is okay. This is a copy of the original work of art, and this is a fake. A fake that Lilian Broca had no idea of until someone pointed it out to her. Lilian, as I can see here, there is clothing with your mosaic images on them. Were you surprised to see that your work was being put on to clothing?
A friend of mine who does mosaics and lives in Istanbul walked into a high fashion store and saw these blouses for sale, and they're not cheap. I asked this friend of mine to send me 2. I bought them. And then I thought, well, if there are 2 blouses, maybe I should look on the internet and see if there is more. And sure enough, in Britain, they've done a similar thing. But worse, they took one of my designs and switched. Is upsetting. As you can see, this is a photo of my mosaic, but the colors in the photo are not as true to the original as the ones on the blouse. And this is quite a feat because they took this design from my website. And my website has low resolution images. However, I am told that it's possible to take low resolution images from a website and upgrade them. I didn't know this because I was wondering how it was done. This is the second blouse. You notice in the reproduction here of the original mosaics, the background is different. What they did in this blouse is they added sort of mosaic-like background with the head. In the past, most great artists, celebrated artists, famous artists, have in fact designed theater costumes, theater props, even fashion. But in that case, the particular designs were made specifically for that.
Lilian, do you think the companies that are manufacturing these clothes know where their designs are coming from?
Actually, I doubt it. I think that it's the people who are creating the fabrics. They're the ones that have people working for them, stealing designs on internet, and then they print them. So I doubt that the companies who actually cut and sew these fabrics would know, and they wouldn't be interested. They probably know that they're stolen, but they're not interested. They're just interested in selling the product.
Why can't you just contact the person on eBay who's selling these works and threaten to sue them?
Because I did that before. I wrote to the person who owns the company, and she was very rude, and she told me that she didn't steal anything because she took it from the internet. Well, it was my website, and on my website it says copyright belongs to the artist, but she ignored that. So I know even if I tried, I wouldn't get a nice response. And then eBay forced them to close. But 7 days later, they appeared on eBay with another name. So they changed the name of the company with the same image and wrote me an email saying, ha, 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 if you think you can do this, here we are again on eBay. Honestly, I have the email.
The issue of global piracy is obviously much more difficult. A lot of countries don't have legal systems that are easy for Canadians to access. And if the demand letter doesn't work, then it's a matter of determining whether it's possible in that country to get a local representation to pursue a lawsuit against an infringer.
There are some companies that actually advertise counterfeit mosaics. What it means is that they are posting real original photos of my mosaics for sale. In other words, my own mosaics, not copies of them, but they advertise my mosaics for sale. They tell their customers, I can deliver this mosaic to you.
The legal system is adapting to internet infringement, and the enforcement in a number of countries, certainly the United States and Canada, against, let's call them pirates or counterfeiters, is getting much stronger. In Canada, we have a much stronger court rulings in the recent past in terms of punitive damages, statutory damages, higher levels of damages against infringers. And we have a new piece of legislation coming through in Canada against counterfeit products, which will increase criminal remedies against counterfeiters. That's something else that the artist should also keep in mind, is that when that infringement becomes a commercial activity, it is now a criminal activity.
I'm thinking a lot about unfair competition. Other people are taking credit for the work, the artwork, the creative work that was done by Lilian. And that's illegal. And it's wrong. And to pursue it legally would cost a lot of money, I think, for the artists. And it's one of the conflicts that artists have. Should they put their work out on the web to share, or do they keep it quietly to them, hold it quietly to themselves? But then that negates the whole purpose of creating art.
Dr. Sheila Campbell is a professor emerita at the Pontifical Institute of Medieval Studies in Toronto, Canada. She's an art historian, archaeologist, and curator, and has published several books on ancient mosaics and contemporary mosaics. Let's see what she has to say on this issue.
The thing to remember that a lot of people do forget is that there are two parts to every artwork. Be it a painting, a mosaic, a piece of sculpture, there is the object itself, and then there is also its creative content, what is generally called the intellectual process of creating it. And if you buy a painting, you are buying only that painting. The copyright or intellectual property aspect still belongs to the artist. And this is the problem that is coming up with people misappropriating images to which they have no right. Everybody now wants museums and galleries to have their whole collection on the web. And then the question becomes, how do you control what people are going to do? I think the jury is still out on how this will be handled in the future.
It is a moral imperative as well as an international responsibility, because it's only this way that people will hear about it, and perhaps those in charge will work harder in order to find a solution to this problem.
Lilian Broca is an award-winning Canadian visual artist who for the past 14 years has been creating large glass mosaics. Her popular book, The Hidden and Revealed, The Queen Esther Mosaics of Lilian Broca, and the award-winning documentary, Return to Byzantium, The Art and Life of Lilian Broca, have put her at the forefront of the rebirth of mosaic art as fine art.
If you type world-class mosaic or beautiful mosaic, these things come up. And so if somebody's looking to make a cheap copy of something really beautiful, this is a prime target.
There's no comparison between the two. This is a creepy knockoff, and this is a magnificent work that takes hundreds of man-hours and incredible skill. That can never be diminished.